Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to what may very well be the only episode of Steve's Awesome Games. Now we're not talking Dungeons and Dragons or geek warfare like that, but I am going to talk to you about the greatest home game that was ever made and ever sold. I knew this when I was 6 years old, and I wanted this game for Christmas when I saw it advertised on television. And my mom and my dad were perplexed at this because all the kids my age were wanting Star Wars action figures. But not me. I wanted one thing: Electronic Detective, the best home game ever. Now I can't call it a board game because, as you can see, it's not a board. It's like a little mini little computer console, you see, right out of the 1970s. And it is out of the 1970s. It's copyright 1979, the Ideal Toy Factory. And note this, check it out. That's Don Adams right there, the original Get Smart dude. He was promoting this totally awesome, awesome game. Now, why do I have it here? That's a very good question. You see, I got it for Christmas when I was 6 years old, and I was in heaven with this thing. I loved this game, and whenever it was family game night, this is the game I wanted to play. And to this day, still, when I was in Calgary, around Christmas or Easter when I was home, my mom would say, "Stephen, go down to the basement and bring up a game." And when she said this, she meant Balderdash or Pictionary or one of those inferior games. But since she wasn't specific, I always brought up the game I wanted to play, which was Electronic Detective. And nobody would ever play this game with me, even if it was my birthday. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, they're all great people, but I have one thing against them. They would never play Electronic Detective with me when I asked them to. And I would ask very nicely, and I'd make this face. And they'd say, no. Nobody in my family, aside from me, has played Electronic Detective in, I would say, 25 years, maybe even 30 years. For 30 years or so, this game was sitting in my parents' basement gathering dust. So this Christmas, I said, Mom, Dad, I'm taking Electronic Detective home with me. And my mom was like devastated. It was tears, yeah. But she said, okay, you take it with you. And so here I am. I've got my camcorder set up, and I'm going to show everybody in Facebook land or YouTube land or whoever's watching this what an awesome game Electronic Detective is. Now you need your little case fact sheet. I lost them, so I had to make my own, and this is cool. This will work for me right here. And you also need your suspect cards, and I got them all right here. Okay, now we're just going to start this up. I'm not going to explain to you how to play it, but here we're going to turn it on. Cool, eh? Okay, here we go. We'll play one player, 3 questions each, and somebody died. And the person who died is this mofo here. See? It's Tony Rachetti. This mofo is dead. And he was found dead at the card party. So I'm going to write that down. 4 card party. So we know nobody was at the card party. So now what I got to do is I got to interrogate these witnesses and figure out who it was. I got 19 left. And the first guy I'm going to talk to is this cat right here, Lenny Little. See? He's a bartender. And we're going to put him right there, and I'm going to put suspect 1. That's Lenny Little's number. Enter. And he says that 1 was with 14 and 19. And those people were, let's see, Dina Rachetti, that was Tony's wife. Ooh. And Candy Roll, a groupie. Isn't she hot? I love candy roll. Okay, here we go. All right, so one was with 14 and 19. I'm going to make a note of that on my case fact sheet. And now we're going to ask Lenny some private questions. I'm going to put, did the murderer go to the east side? No, the murderer went to the west side. Okay, we'll ask private question 2. Did a male do it? Oh, gotta ask him. We gotta put him in there again. Okay, end turn. Suspect 1, enter. Private question 2. Did a male do it? Yes, a male did it. So we now know the murderer was one of 9 people. Not Tony, because Tony didn't kill himself. Okay. And now we're going to ask this guy, were you on the east side? Private question 9. Enter. Yes, he was on the east side. So we know that he wasn't the murderer because the murderer went to the west side. So we can cancel him out. Of course, we assume he's telling the truth. Now this is actually a lot more fun when you got more than one player. 4 players can play this at the same time. And you can ask 1, 2, or 3 questions and it goes around and around and around and you eliminate suspects. Okay, let's see. Who else are we going to ask here? Let's ask Al Farouk some questions. Al Farouk. Suspect 2. Enter. He was on the west side, midtown. So west side, midtown. So this guy could be the murderer. Let's ask what area the murderer went to. That's a question that we can ask. And the murderer went downtown. So we know it was not Al Farouk. Okay. So we will end turn. Let's see what... I had to make this one up because I lost this one. So that's my own little card here. Okay, we'll ask suspect 3. And he says he was on the west side, uptown, with number 12, who is Lucy Tumble. That's right. So we know it wasn't this dude here either, because this is probably getting boring now. But oh well, I'll just trundle along with this. So, private question, let's see, was the murder weapon a .38? Yes, the murder weapon was a .38. Let's ask, where was the .38 hidden? And he says it was hidden at the embassy. So, I'm going to have to find somebody who was at the embassy and ask them another question. Let's see about number 5. This is Mickey O'Malley, and he says that he was at the factory. So there's really not a lot that he can do for me. So I'm just, well, let's see. Let's see, private question 9. And he was on the west side. So this could be our dude, Mickey O'Malley, this retired cop. That could be our murderer. Let's find out though, okay? Hope this isn't getting too boring. I'm totally on pins and needles here. All right, Max Feinflugel, a producer. Ugly son of a bitch, isn't he? All right, let's see. We are going to, do we need to ask this guy a question here? Let's do that. Suspect 6, enter. He was at the theater. So he was at the theater with person number 15. So I don't think this guy can help us out with much. Let's try Rip Rap here. Rip Rap, number 7, a dock worker. That was my favorite guy when I was growing up, when I played this game. Rip Rap, what does he say? He was downtown at the theater. 7 was downtown at the theater. All right, so we know that the theater was downtown. So it could be number 6 or it could be number 7. We don't know, but you know what I'm going to do? Because I know that this guy who was at the theater was with number... he was with number 15, and that is... Oh, where are you here? Eileen Steller. So we're going to ask... Let's talk to Eileen Steller here, and she says she was on the west side. 15 on the west side with 7 and 18. So you know what? West side, downtown was a theater. So I know that the murderer was either number 6, Max Feinflugel, or number 7, Rip Rap. So I got to ask a couple more questions here. All I have to do is find somebody who was at the embassy, and he can tell me whose prints were on that gun. Let's see. Number 8 was at the embassy. Buster Bailey was at the embassy. See? basketball player. He just told me he's at the embassy. So I'm going to ask him private question 13. Are an odd number suspects prints on the 38? 13, and he says yes. An odd number suspects prints were on the 38. So I have number 6 and number 7. Max is number 6. Rip is number 7, and it was an odd number suspects on the gun, so it has to be number 7. I am going to accuse Rip Rap of the murder. Accuse 7, enter. Police sirens. You hear that? I won the game. I solved the murder. Rip Rap going to jail. All because of me. Electronic Detective. The best game ever made. Seriously, anybody out there watching this wants to have a retro game night sometime? Leave me a message, give me a call. This is the ultimate fun game. Alright? Ciao.